In these uncertain economic times, it's easy to be worried about protecting your wealth, your hard-earned savings, and your family's financial future. Plunging interest rates, the devaluating dollar, and political unrest constantly threaten what you have worked hard to earn and all that you own. That's why now it's more important than ever to protect your assets and have the money you need to make your dreams come true. Welcome to the Global Wealth Fortress Report with successful global entrepreneur and wealth preservation expert Joel Nagel. Joel's helped thousands of people just like you protect what you have so that you can make even more and make your every dream come true. So, sit back and enjoy Joel Nagel's offshore expert advice on how you can live the good life at a great price, where the sun never sets on your financial fortress.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Global Wealth Fortress Report. I'm Joel Nagel. I'm joined at the JW Marriott at our annual Asset Protection and Investment Conference by Mr. Rich Checkan, who is president of Asset Strategies International, based just outside of DC.
Yes.
And Rich, thanks very much for joining me today on the show.
Happy to be here, Joel, always.
I know that you're one of the folks that made the trek. Weren't afraid to get on a plane and come and be here in person, so I really want to thank you, first of all, for doing that. Obviously the folks watching the show today weren't able to make the conference, so maybe you could talk a little bit about your company and what you do, specifically in the gold industry, and what they should be thinking about if they're considering gold right now.
Sure, happy to do that. So first off, our company, Asset Strategies International, is a 32-year-old company, 1982, actually 38-year-old company. My uncle Michael and his partner Glenn started it back in 82. We're primarily a precious metals dealer, but we also work with early U.S. gold and silver coins, so numismatics. And we set ourselves apart for customer service, and I think you know that over the years. 25 years I've been with them, I've not heard a complaint that wasn't solved to the client's satisfaction. We take that very seriously. But the topic of my presentation today was really something that came out of a conversation at the end of the last bull market, where despite what our clients tell us, usually they'll say, we're buying gold for wealth insurance. They really want some profit too. They never want to buy an investment that's not going up in value, right? So we tried to put together a strategy. It's based on Bernard Baruch, famed investor, who basically said, I don't care about the first 20% of appreciation on any given investment, and I don't care about the last 20%. All I want is my 60% in the middle. So for those looking for profit, we try to come up with a strategy where they can get that 60%, which means they don't buy in on a flyer and they don't wait for the bitter end to catch the top. They focus on the fundamentals and they capture 60% in the middle. And for me, that's silver, in the precious metal space, because of its severe drop in a bear market and its severe climb in a bull market. And we look for some factors that will identify the end of the bull market as opposed to a bull market dip to buy into. And we encourage people to take profits all along so the top really doesn't matter. And that is very different from how you handle your wealth insurance in gold.
Our program is all about creating a global wealth fortress. So I think for me personally, and a lot of our viewers, they not that they don't want to make money. Believe me, everybody wants to make money, but we are really talking about wealth insurance and wealth preservation. So maybe you could touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. So for me in the precious metal space, that is gold. Gold is your wealth insurance for 5,000 years. It's done its job admirably over that full period of time, and most folks will suggest a 10% allocation toward gold, and you buy it, you hold it, you never ever sell it, unless you have a financial crisis. And if you do, you sell it immediately, meet the financial obligation, and then as soon thereafter as you can, you build back up your allocation to wealth insurance. And that's how that works. It's very liquid. It's a store of purchasing power in a very liquid form for a potential financial crisis you hope never have.
So you're basically saying you're speculating with silver, and gold is your financial anchor to
Absolutely.
preserve your wealth.
And you have to treat them differently. They're not the same. You can't treat your financial wealth insurance like you would a for-profit asset, and vice versa.
Yeah. So you're not trying to day trade your wealth insurance. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. You don't speculate with your home insurance, your auto insurance. You shouldn't do it with your wealth insurance.
What about other metals? Sometimes people ask me, what about platinum, palladium, these other? Is there a role in portfolios for those, and what would that be?
Well, I think there is, but I personally look at a lesser allocation than I do for silver. I look at them more for profit than I do for wealth insurance. Again, that for me is always gold.
So if you see a price out of whack, you might dip your toe more into one of those.
For instance, right now, platinum is out of whack. Palladium had a significant rise over the past 5-6 years, and platinum has been left in the dust. But we're getting to a point now where you might see some substitution because the palladium price is too high. The roles are reversed from maybe a decade ago. So that's something you may consider, but a smaller allocation typically.
Now, the other question, going back to gold as the anchor, what's the best way to buy it, hold it, store it, insure it? I mean, just take our viewers through that process.
Yeah, and for me, that's very simple. I start first and foremost by buying it and taking delivery of it. All right, because if you look at the definition, it's a liquid asset for a financial crisis. If it's stored halfway around the world and you can't get a hold of it, how good is that, right? If I have a crisis today, I need to be able to walk down the street, sell it, and meet that crisis today, not next week, right? So the first thing I do is I buy it, and usually in the forms of coins or bars. I prefer, if the spreads dictate, that you buy mainstream recognized coin worldwide, like the eagle, the buffalo, the maple, the philharmonic, or the kangaroo, maybe the Krugerrand as well. Something that everybody knows, and I have them ship it to me, and I store it myself, up until the point where I feel like I can meet any short-term financial need, or I no longer feel comfortable storing and safeguarding it myself. At that point, I put it in the hands of the professionals, right? So I store it with professional depositories, whether it be domestically or abroad, and depending what those percentages are and how much metal you actually own, I spread that out as much as I can as well, because I think we're firm believers you don't keep all your assets in any one currency, in any one country, or in any one asset class or investment. So
sounds like solid advice.
Yeah, you spread it out, and therefore you can protect yourself better.
Great. Well, I feel like we could go on all day, Rich.
I mean,
gold is certainly a fundamental asset class, particularly for a lot of my clients that are looking for stewarding wealth over generations.
Yes.
Like you said, it's been a store of value for 5,000 years, and I'm not saying there aren't other things. We talk about everything on our show, whether it's real estate or Bitcoin or whatever, but I think gold has a sort of focal point.
It's fairly easy to transport across borders and generations. So.
Great. Well, I hope that you'll come back again and we'll talk some more. For now, I think we'll have to leave it there because we're at the end of the show. But really appreciate you joining us on the Global Wealth Fortress Report. For our viewers, I want to thank you for tuning in. Before I let you go, why don't you let people know how they can reach out and contact you?
Sure. Two critical ways. Toll-free number, 800-831-0007. That's 10 better than James Bond.
I like that.
Or you can reach out via the internet at assetstrategies.com.
Assetstrategies.com, great. Or you can, reach out through the program, and we can connect people as well. But
Absolutely.
Thanks again for taking the time to be on the show, and for our viewers, I want to thank you for tuning in. Until next time, I want to wish you health, I want to wish you happiness, and I want to wish you a wealth that can't be taken or destroyed by others. See you next time.
Thanks for joining Joel Nagel and the Global Wealth Fortress Report, a whole new approach to asset protection and estate planning, so that now you can live the good life at a great price, where the sun never sets on your financial fortress.